Whoa, nah. What's going on, YouTube? Cowboys Nation. It's your boy Will. Back with a video. Just some quick thoughts about the 2021 draft, man, and some observations that I had and that I was just kind of thinking about. And just wanted to, see what y'all. Just wanted to get it out there to y'all and see what y'all thought about it, to see if we kind of thinking on the same wavelength, so to speak. It was a very interesting draft to me. This is one of the first drafts in a long time to where, it didn't really go the way that I thought it was going to go, but I'm kind of glad the way it went. And I guess what I kind of mean by that is that, me personally, I obviously had players that, Horn, J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain, Rashad Slater, that those were like my top three, and really, no particular order, but those were my top three that I kind of wanted, for the boys. I felt like, one of those three would be there when it was time for us to pick, and they were. One of them were. Rashad Slater was there. We had to trade back at first, and even when we traded back with them filthy Eagles, we didn't take them for whatever reason. But, I'm fine with Mika. I think Mika's a good player. Initially, I'll be honest, I didn't really like the pick. I think that's the theme of the video that I'm really trying to get across and try to put something in y'all head, man. It's like watching that Dan Quinn post-draft interview. It was real interesting to see what Dan had to say. Dan let it be known that the Cowboys drafted with a plan. They came in with a plan. They understood in each position of the draft how they wanted to address it, and they made their picks accordingly. I felt like a lot of times the players that they were trying to go after got wiped out, especially in the first 3 rounds. Like, it'll be a player that, that I was maybe targeting, or somebody at DallasCowboy.com was targeting, or just us as an overall community we were targeting. And for whatever reason, it seems like right when we got to that pick, if it was the Raiders or whoever it was jumping up and getting the players that I feel like we had targeted, but they had a plan. Like, they came in this draft with a plan A and a plan B. And I like that. A lot of times, and especially in those later rounds, you tend to take the best player available. But if you're taking the best player available and you don't have a plan for that best player available, it really doesn't make sense. And listening to Dan's post-draft conference, he has a plan. Dan Quinn knows exactly what he wants to do with this defense. I like the free agent acquisitions that we had with Keanu. I like putting him down in the box, moving him to linebacker, letting him create those turnovers with the Donovan. So now we have 2, safety hybrid, linebacker hybrid type players who can, if nothing else, can force turnovers, and if nothing else is gonna lay the wood. I like it, man. I like what we're doing, man. When they drafted Parsons, Parsons is not the stand-up traditional. Right now, he's not. He's not the linebacker that you want calling your defense. But if you have a plan for him and you use him to his strengths, which is the theme that I'm getting from Dan. Dan is using all of these players at their strengths. Like Jalen and Leighton and everybody on the defense. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be shocked if we went into this season without a, so to speak, starting rotation, a starting 11 on defense, just because from week to week, it could be this guy starting based on the personnel of the other team and the packages that they run. And the next week, the next 2 weeks, it can be 2 other guys at the starting position. I think the only certainties that you have are the 2 corners with Kelvin Joseph, boss man fat, which I love. We have Trayvon at the other corner. You have, I would probably say DeMarcus at one of the ends, and Randy most of the time at the other end. But for the most part, everybody else is pretty much interchangeable. Well, I'll put Donovan and I'll put Donovan and Neal too. I think those 4 or 5 players I think will be constant in our defense. But everybody else, hey man, it's depending on the week, and if that week we need your strength, you will get the most playing time. And I'm, for one, I'm coming from the last regime that we had with Garrett. I'm okay. I'm 100% perfectly fine with that, man. I really like that we are going to go into games trying to match up and trying to compete and not trying to run a system that doesn't fit the game plan of the team that we're playing. Like looking at last year, you seen, when Nolan first came in and he was saying something about we're going to try to use guys to their strengths, and looking at, he was saying that we're going to put Jalen on running backs and out of the back. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's not, we all know that's not Jalen's strength. Jalen's strength is going downhill, putting pressure, whether he gets to the quarterback, reading first option, C gap, go gap, C gap, go. That's Jalen. I'm glad we're using them to the strengths. That's very, good to hear. That's very promising, man. I like that. And Dan's coming to compete, man. He's coming to compete with this offense. He knows how good this offense is. He acknowledged that, but he wants to. He doesn't care. Like, he wants to match that energy, and you can just feel that when you was listening to him in that press conference. And if you haven't, go back and try to watch that press conference so you can kind of see where I'm coming from. Like, I like where we're headed, man. I think, and don't get me wrong, we don't have to be, and Dan's not thinking like this, what I'm about to say, but we don't have to be a top 10, top 5 NFL defense. Dan's trying to get us to be the best defense in the league, and his attitude is that, but we just don't have to be the 31st ranked defense. If we're somewhere in the, lower 20s to the upper teens, that's fine with our offense. I think that we can compete for a Super Bowl this year if our defense can get to, anywhere from 15th ranked to 25th ranked defense. I really believe that. We have more than enough points that we're going to score. Look at Dak. Even when Dak went down, we still one of the top offenses in the league. So offensively, we're there. This is Mike McCarthy's second year. I think he's going to be able to, get more of his feel, and, players are going to know what we kind of know what to expect with Mike McCarthy. The offense is rolling. The offense is the offense. Yeah, man, I like where we're headed, man. I really, really like where we're headed, man. It feels like a culture change in Dallas, man. It finally feels like we're getting to the point to where we're getting out of our Stone Age way of thinking, and the game is evolving, and for the first time in a long time, it feels like we're evolving with the game, so to speak. So man, I'm proud of where we're going, and I just can't wait to get to training camp to see, man. Like, I'm very impressed, and I'm very impressed with Dan Quinn. This video is about the draft, but this video is mostly about Dan Quinn and my expectations for him. And I'm starting off, I like what I see. But thanks for tuning in, guys, man. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know about the draft. Let me know what y'all feel about Dan Quinn. Let me know what y'all feel like, early predictions on the season. Don't forget to like the video, share the video. Subscribe to the channel, man. This is something that I'm trying to do on a more frequent basis, man. Like, comment, subscribe, post notifications when I post so we can get in and chop it up about our boys, man. And until next time, man, how about them Cowboys?